Welcome to this tarot reading. If you just watched my video about the astrological transits, then you may already know what this reading is going to be about. And if you haven't, I recommend watching it. You can find it in the link that I will share here. Because I spoke about the importance of Chiron in the whole past weeks, but especially at this time right now. And certain figures in Chiron's mythological story that are giving us clues about the healing of the wounds that we're experiencing right now and all of this intensity. So this reading is going to look a bit deeper and look a bit to the subtle realms of understanding those important parts of the process right now. I have two decks I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck and the Mother Peace deck today, and I'm just shuffling them here right now. So I'm going to be pulling two cards of each deck. So as I begin, I invite you to close your eyes for just a moment if you can. Take a deep breath together with me to allow yourself to enter into the space with me, enter into this container, connecting our sacred energies. Let's breathe in and out. And so as I shuffle this deck, I'm going to ask you to simply set an intention for this reading to support you in your own personal healing journey so that we may understand more about the important contributing factors of these feelings, of these energies, so that we can support the process of emotional alchemy, that we can support a process of deepening the relationship with our own life, with our own body, that we can deepen the relationship of healing and forgiveness, and that we may find clarity and answers and inspiration for what to do, how to move, and understand more about this time, allowing ourselves to explore the subtle realm. So I'm going to start by pulling a card asking about the moment of initiation of this wound and a healing message and how we can understand on a deeper level what is actually the initiation of this whole process and what is at the root causing this pain. So I'm going to pull another card asking about the ancestral level of this healing and how can we change and be better than the ancestors before us, but also understand their pain. How can we ultimately understand the pain of our ancestors and at the same time become a different path, become a healed being. And I'm going to pull two cards from the other deck. I'm going to ask what will help us in collaboration with the other, what will help us going into collaboration, into communication, and into relation with our partners, our families, our communities on this path of healing. And also what will help us connect to our unfiltered truth and gifts. What will help us reveal hidden voices that connect us to our wisdom. So the first card we have here is the Nine of Wands. So the moment of initiation of this wounding is really connected to our spiritual topics. It's connected to almost a feeling of spiritual gathering of items, of a gathering of, I'm hearing like spiritual trophies. And it's also a root pain in the mind. We can see here this figure has a bandage over his head, and this is really connecting us to thoughts and ideas and beliefs that have accumulated over many disputes, many conflicts, many experiences. And therefore it is just a lot of energy that has been collected. It's a point of initiation that has almost began at an end of something. So there was the end of an era, there was the end of a belief as we knew it, something that happened that was so deep that it completely affected our whole energetic system. And I do feel that it's connected to a sense of carrying burden and a sense of having to force ourselves to stay strong after repeated conflicts. There's an overburdening. There's a wounding that had no time to be wounded because it immediately needed to jump into strength. It immediately needed to jump into carrying on. The 9 connects us to the Hermit as well, and the Hermit connects us to the energy of Aquarius, and it connects us to the energy of wisdom collected over time, over lifetimes. And so these feelings and these pains that we're experiencing right now, they have been really accumulating over a vast range of years and over many generations. It feels like these are generational wounds right now. It feels also like we are trying to guard something. We are trying to be the guardian for a belief, because somehow that belief keeps us standing upright. And we are maybe afraid that if that belief is not there anymore, we have nothing to lean against. We have nothing to hold on. We may be afraid of what is there when there is nothing. So we rather have something there, even if that something may be damaging us, may have wounded us. We hold on to that something, because even something that is bad is better than nothing that is unknown. But ultimately the Hermit, the bigger version of the 9 and the teacher of this card, is reminding us that there is never nothing, because there is always inside of you something guiding. And when we let go of those wands, when we let go of that belief that we hold on to, we don't actually fall into nothing. But we are instead able to see what is there inside. So we are able to find our own beliefs again when we start to drop beliefs that have been put upon us, and then we can listen and light up our own inner flame and use that as a guiding lantern. And sometimes in order to have that experience, we need to withdraw ourselves from all of the movement that has been going on, and withdraw ourselves from all of the interactions, and withdraw ourselves from all of the noise. There's a big feeling of feeling like we need to protect something, and that when we want that something to hold on. So the next card is the King of Swords, and it came out in reversed, and this is what it looks like upright. And this ancestral wound and this area where we may need to change and live out a different path than our ancestors is connected to the realm of the mind and the element of air. And this is the end of the minor arcanum journey to the wisdom of how to navigate our thoughts, how to navigate our mind, how to navigate air energy, how to work with ideas, and how to manifest with our thoughts and our words. And this figure here has a wounding on his mind, on his head in that area. So it's this wound that we are now able, in the current era and in your current experience, we are able to be a better leader. The king is the end of the journey. It's a moment of having a peak understanding and a peak awareness. So we need to actually reach that awareness that our ancestors were not able to reach. We need to reach beyond what they believed, incorporate new information, and begin to neutralize the harmful beliefs and the harmful speech that has been there, that has been accumulated over time, that has been leading to the head hurting. And with this card, we also, it's in reverse, and we also have right now Mercury in retrograde. So it's not about accumulating more beliefs and more mental chatter. It's about accumulating less and actually letting go of some of the beliefs that are there. This card is about learning how to act from a higher wisdom. Acting from a greater wisdom. Acting from a wisdom that has come after a moment of transformation. Here we have the butterfly. And it's also about being able to act, but those actions are coming from a place of grounded balance here with this gray cloak. Our actions are not just impulsive, but they come through wisdom, and they come through having undergone all of the processes that came before this point of experience. So how can we support this healing process through our relations and through interactions with the outer world? We have here the daughter of discs, which relates to the page of pentacles. So here we have an earth energy, and we have a point of fresh inspiration, because that's what we do when we ask the other for their opinion. We are able to receive an opinion that has not maybe been there before, because it comes from outside of us. And we are also sometimes able to be mirrored something that will inspire us, because even though we already knew it was there, it's a moment of reflection and receiving it back. Also what the moon and the sun are doing right now, they're sending light out and the moon is reflecting the light back. So it's this process that can really help us to understand deeper, or to validate, or to question, and to bring in new elements that have not been there before. This is a process in which we have to meet the other person in full nudity, meaning we put down our guards, we put down our defense mechanisms, because we put down our disguises. We show our true selves, our true thoughts, our true opinions. Because only when we all speak our truth, we can initiate that process in one another of questioning, of asking, and of understanding, why is this other person that I am meeting right now, why are they important for me? Because every encounter has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. So understanding what is the purpose. It's about allowing ourselves to be in a ritual of renewal. Because that's what we do when we go in communion with the other person. No matter if it's a partnership or a relationship or a friendship or a business encounter, or just another person you are speaking to, a stranger you're talking to on the street, or just you and experiencing the outer world through your pets, through your plants, through the spirits of the land, through spirits in your dreams, and through allowing the outer world to help you shine light on something. I'm going to read from the book because it's so beautiful, which reads here: the daughter stands in a place of power by the Sipapuni, a Hopi word, or the birth hole. She rests her medicine pipe in the sacred circle. Behind her is a house in a cave. The sun has set and the full moon rises and reflects in her obsidian mirror. She is open and receptive as well as courageous and determined. She's willing to wait for the inspiration and information she needs to go forward in her life. She seeks a kind of knowledge that is based in the truth that comes through her body. So it's telling us to be open and to be courageous with our encounters, with our meetings. The obsidian mirror or the obsidian blade is also a stone that really connects us with being able to cut through illusions and to cut through distortions and to release karma and to allow ourselves to move on. And the obsidian mirror is reflecting back to us such an important energy of what even is, which is also used in many ancient traditions and cultures. So it's also about, it's also reminding us to meet and encounter the world through the wisdom of our ancestors, through using the tools that they made with the humble intention of actually seeing beyond just the physical realm. The obsidian mirror allowing us to actually see into other realms and to do the work of meeting the world, to do the work of birthing something new in the setting of a sacred ritual, a sacred ceremony. And what do we bring into that sacred ceremony? Because everything becomes a sacred ritual and ceremony when we bring in the right parts, which is respect, intention, and humility. And when we bring those things into our encounters, into our interactions with the world, they become a birth portal for something new. They become a purification ritual. They become a ceremony. Every single interaction becomes an act of healing, an act of understanding. And the last card we have here is the Seven of Cups, which we were asking about the silencing of our voices and what will help us to connect again with that inner truth, with that deep knowing, with that gift of prophecy, with that gift of being able to speak the truth and support us in our process of healing. We have here the Seven of Cups, and as you can see, there's a white dove on the top. There are 6 cups being filled and 1 cup on the top that is filling all of those 6 cups. So this is really about being able to use the gift of imagination. We have cups, which is water, which is emotions, which is dream, which is imagination. And the Seven of Cups traditionally is a card that also shows us not only the good sides of imagination, but also the risk of imagination, which is, of course, illusion. So being able to understand that both is there. And because this card represents our prophetic gifts and wisdom, representing Okyrrhoe in the mythology, and right now this asteroid is in the sign of Aries, it's also telling us that it is important to act out the creative visions that we receive. But it is important that these creative visions are brought to us from the Holy Spirit, that they are not brought to us from our egos, that they are not brought to us from our trauma, but that they are brought to us from an intention of healing, that they carry that intention of healing. 7 is a number connecting us to rising higher, rising beyond. It connects us with the major arcanum of the Chariot, which also reminds us of understanding the bigger cycles, understanding the archetypes that are at play. Through that, we can also receive support in being guided. And working on that level can also support us in understanding what may be an illusion, what may be imagination, what may be a true desire. Are the energies moving and looking forwards or backwards? And where may they be impacted right now? What may be distorting them? I will again read from the book, the message for this card, the Seven of Cups. A woman is performing magic. She holds a scarf. and a dove flies out of the cup balanced on the top of her head. She is in the interior realm of dreams, wishes, and possibilities. There isn't yet a form or substance to what she imagines. This can be a relaxing and inventive time as long as she allows for being spaced out. So what I really receive here is that it's important that we allow the awareness that things are not yet fixed. And maybe even extending that to things also have never been fixed. That all of these fixed stories and all of this fixed and stuck and not being able to move these emotions comes from an illusion that things are certain, that things are forever and eternal. But essentially all energy keeps moving, and things continue to move, they continue to flow, they start to dissolve, they rearrange, they merge, they separate, they do all kinds of things, but they don't usually stay the same, which means that things can and will change. I feel like this is about ultimately understanding that things can come to us in really strange, weird, and unexpected ways. And what I'm receiving right now is the image of a coconut that is just miraculously filled with water, even though it grows on a tree and it looks hairy and fuzzy and it's really hard to open. At some places of the world, it's a really necessary source of water to survive. And it's in this strange and unexpected way that we may receive gifts all the time. When we allow ourselves to remember that things are not always as they seem, when we allow ourselves to trust and hope and to ultimately be guided by the Holy Spirit, and then we are preparing ourselves to receive. And again, we are baring our chest, we are taking off our disguises, we are taking off our armor, and we are allowing the true heart frequency to shine forth. So I feel it's important to maintain right now a sense of openness, an openness to other viewpoints, an openness to other stories, an openness to other ways of experiencing and receiving and being and living, and understanding that nothing is fixed. And we can understand that when we are being silenced, there are other ways to move energy. We are not just speaking, and there are parts of yourself that cannot be silenced because they are beyond form. They are beyond the physical. They are beyond a container or a box or an archetype. They are within you. You are expressing them, and it is that quality of you that cannot be silenced. And with that quality, you can be in divine ritual. And with that quality, you can begin to express, and you can begin to receive. You can call out, you can create, and you can move, and you can alchemize. And with that energy, you bring in the essence beyond all manipulations and beyond all of these distortions and the stories. With that essence, you start creating from a pure place, from a holy place, from a peaceful place, from a loving place, and understanding that that part cannot be silenced because you can call upon that energy and be in ritual with it. And you can decide for yourself how that ritual looks. You can create and craft that ritual. You can co-create that ritual right now by setting an intention, by speaking a prayer in your mind, by speaking a prayer in your heart, by speaking a prayer from your sacrum, speaking a prayer from your sacral force of life. So I hope that these messages receive you well. I hope that you feel inspired. I hope that you are able to integrate this energy into your own daily life, into the bigger and smaller moments remembering that all moments are important, that the big actions, the small actions, the big steps and the small steps are equally important. And I thank you so much for listening. If you would like further guidance upon your personal process, you can reach out to me. I'll leave the information for that below. And if you would like to stay updated, then you can subscribe and come back. And until then, I wish you a beautiful process, a beautiful journey, lots of self-compassion and compassion for the other. And I'll see you soon.